The sky over Ohio was the color of bruised steel, thick, heavy clouds pressing low against the rooftops. Cold wind slapped against my face as I stepped out of the rideshare, clutching my small suitcase, the wheels grinding over cracked pavement. It smelled like rain was coming. Or maybe it was just the feeling of it, that electric tension in the air before something breaks. The house looked the same as I remembered, but different. Curtains drawn. No sound of laughter. The grass slightly overgrown, like no one bothered to care anymore. My heart was pounding, not from the cold but from the uncertainty. I wasn't coming to judge. I wasn't coming to intrude. I was coming to help. To hold my grandchild. To be family. I rang the doorbell. Footsteps. Slow. Reluctant. Then the door opened. He stood there, my daughter-in-law. Her hair was perfectly styled, her clothes spotless. But her eyes were sharp, cold, defensive. She looked at me like I was a problem that had just arrived in human form. No smile. No warmth. Not even a fake welcome. Just silence. Then, with a breath full of impatience, she turned her back and walked away, leaving the door open behind her. That was my greeting. So I stepped inside, pulling my suitcase over the threshold. Into a home where love used to live. And deep inside I already felt it. This wasn't a visit. This was a war zone. And I had just been dropped into the middle of it. Inside the house, the air felt stale, untouched. Like no one had opened a window in weeks. Silence pooled in every corner. The kind that makes you feel unwelcome without a word being spoken. I followed her into the living room, the sound of my suitcase wheels echoing behind me. Family photos lined the walls, but something was wrong. Every picture stopped at the wedding. Nothing after. No baby photos. No new memories. It was as if time itself had stopped. She finally spoke without turning around. "You can leave your things in the guest room." Her voice was clipped, controlled. Like she was talking to a delivery driver, not family. I tried to break the ice. "I made your favorite soup. I thought maybe." He cut me off. Didn't even bother to hide her annoyance. "We don't eat that kind of food anymore. Things have changed." I froze. That soup was the first meal I ever cooked for her. The one she said tasted like home. She walked past me, arms crossed, chin lifted like a queen in her castle. Then, the moment I'll never forget, she turned, looked straight at me and said, "Don't try to help with the baby today. You don't know how things work now. You're outdated." Outdated. Like I was a broken appliance. It was a small wound. But I felt it slicing deeper than she knew. I stood there in the house I helped them afford, feeling like an intruder. And for the first time a thought entered my mind. She doesn't just dislike me. She wants me gone. Night settled over the house before my son returned. I heard the car door slam outside, not once but twice, like he had to gather the strength just to get out. The front door opened and there he was. My boy. Except he didn't look like my boy anymore. His shoulders were slumped. His eyes were dead tired, ringed in exhaustion that looked older than him. His work shirt was wrinkled, stained with coffee. He carried the weight of something invisible, something crushing him, slow and steady. He didn't see me at first. He just stood in the entryway, keys still in hand, breathing like someone who had been running for years with no finish line. Finally, he looked up. "Mom, you're here." And for the first time that day I saw something human in that house. Relief. Pain. A drowning man spotting a lifeboat. He hugged me. But it was a weak hug. The kind you give when you're holding yourself together with tape and hope. Then she appeared behind him. Arms crossed. Jaw tight. Eyes rolling like my presence was an inconvenience. "You didn't tell me she was staying this long." No hello. No welcome. Just resentment. Dripping from every syllable. He swallowed hard. I thought it would help." He gave a laugh. Sharp, humorless, cruel. "Help. Right. Because what we need is another person who can't mind her own business." He looked trapped, stuck between loyalty and survival. I didn't say a word. Not yet. But I saw it. Clear as day. My son was breaking. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But quietly. Piece by piece. And no one was trying to stop it. The next morning, the house was already tense before the sun finished rising. I heard them arguing in whispered voices. The kind you use when you don't want the walls to hear your shame. But walls always hear. She snapped, he defended, she accused, he fell silent. When the baby cried, I instinctively went to help. I'd raised 3 children, I knew the rhythm of that kind of cry. But she was already there. Not holding the child with love, but gripping him almost like a possession. I offered gently, "Do you want me to take him for a moment? You look exhausted." She didn't turn, didn't breathe. Then, slowly she faced me. And what came next? I will never forget. Her voice was flat, emotionless, more cutting than a scream. "You're useless." Just like that. 2 words that knocked the air out of me. She kept going. "You don't know anything about how we live now. Your advice is outdated. Your help is a burden. You just get in the way." Every syllable was a slap. I felt heat rise in my chest. Shame, anger, heartbreak, all fighting to surface. I wanted to defend myself. To say, "I raised the man you love. I kept this family alive. You have no idea what I've done." But I didn't. I stood there and absorbed every blow, in silence. Not because she was right, but because I knew something she didn't. One day she would need me, and I would still be here, even if she never deserved it. That night, after everyone slept, I lay awake listening to the house breathe. But my mind wasn't in that guest room. It was back in time, to the night I almost lost my son forever. He was 12, a quiet, sensitive boy, too smart for his own good, too kind for the world he lived in. His father had left. I was working 2 jobs. He stopped talking, stopped smiling, stopped believing anything good would ever come back. One night I found his bed empty. And a note. Just 3 words. "I'm so tired." I ran from street to street, calling his name, begging the darkness to answer me. Then I found him. Under an old bridge by the park. Rain soaking through his clothes. Sitting there with eyes that were already gone. He wasn't crying. He wasn't angry. He was empty. A boy ready to disappear. I wrapped him in my coat and held him while it rained. He whispered, "I don't think I matter anymore." And I said with everything I had left, "You matter to me. There is nothing I wouldn't do to keep you alive. Nothing." And I meant every word. That night I saved my son. Not with advice. Not with lectures. But with love that refused to let go. And as I lie awake now, being called useless in the house I helped build, I remember. I didn't raise a weak boy. And I am not a weak woman. She has no idea who she's talking to. But she will. The next few days felt like living in a house made of glass. Fragile, cold, and always on the edge of shattering. They didn't fight loudly. No yelling. No dramatic scenes. It was worse than that. They barely spoke at all. 2 ghosts haunting the same space. While she fed the baby in silence. He stood at the window staring into nothing. When she cooked, he picked at his food without tasting it. At night I heard her crying. Quiet, angry tears behind a locked door. And him? He slept on the couch. Not because they had a fight. Not out of pride or punishment. But because they had stopped trying. One night I found him there, half asleep, still wearing yesterday's clothes. He looked older. Defeated. "Are you okay?" I asked. He didn't lie. He didn't pretend. He just said one sentence. A sentence no mother wants to hear from her grown child. "I don't know how much more of this I can take." He didn't mean the couch. He meant the life he was living inside these walls. Something inside me broke. Not just as a mother, but as a witness. As I knew this look. I had seen it before. On the face of a 12-year-old boy under a bridge. And now I saw it again on the face of the man he became. This marriage wasn't just struggling. It was dying. And if I didn't act soon, I might lose him again. This time for good. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. The sky was clear but the air felt heavy. Like a storm that hadn't decided whether to fall or not. I was taking out the trash when I heard something. A sound so raw it didn't even register as a voice at first. I turned the corner of the house and stopped. There she was. My daughter-in-law, inside her car alone with the windows rolled up. She thought no one could hear her. But I did. She was crying. Not angry tears. Not spiteful ones. The kind that come when a person is breaking in places no one sees. Her hands were gripping the steering wheel, knuckles white, shoulders shaking. And then I heard it. "I wish I hadn't. I can't lose him. I can't lose him. I don't know what to do." Her voice cracked on every word. I stood there, frozen between 2 truths. The woman who called me useless was the same woman who was now drowning in fear. For the first time, I didn't see arrogance. I didn't see cruelty. I saw a scared, lonely, desperate wife who didn't know how to save the man she loved. And something shifted in me. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But understanding. She wasn't evil. She was lost. Just like he was. Just like I'd been once. That's when I knew. If I wanted to save him, I had to save her first. Even if she never thanked me. Even if she never loved me. Even if she still believed I was worthless. Because mothers don't fight for gratitude. We fight for the people we love. Even when they don't see it. That night, after the baby was asleep, and the house was pretending to be peaceful, I went into the kitchen and started cooking. Not because anyone asked me to, but because I remembered something. There was a time when food healed him. When a single meal meant, you're safe. Someone cares. You're not alone. I made his favorite dish. The one I cooked when he won his first art contest. The one I brought to him after his first heartbreak. The one he said, tastes like home. The smell filled the kitchen. Warm, savory, familiar. A tiny light inside a dark house. He came in slowly, barefoot, silent. He saw the food. He froze. Not because he was hungry, but because he hadn't been cared for in so long. He didn't know what it felt like anymore. I placed a plate in front of him. No speeches. No pressure. Just love served warm. He ate quietly at first, chewing slowly, head down. I saw it. A tear dropped onto his plate. He kept eating. Tears kept falling. He didn't wipe them away. When he finished, he didn't thank me. He didn't need to. He stood, walked around the table, and hugged me. Not hard. Not dramatic. But long. Like someone holding onto a lifeline. Like he remembered he still had one. The next morning the sun came up, but the house was still drenched in emotional darkness. They were two people drifting in the same ocean, but rowing in opposite directions, each blaming the waves instead of themselves. I sat there in the quiet watching them, as they passed each other in the hallway, without a single touch, or glance, or word, and I realized something. If I waited for them to fix this, I would be waiting forever. They were both drowning, but too hurt, too proud, too exhausted to reach out for help. So I made a decision. A quiet one. A painful one. I would be the bridge between them. Not by forcing them together. Not by lecturing. Not by telling them what they were doing wrong. But by reminding each of them what they were about to lose. I began to move silently. I cleaned without asking. I watched the baby so they could rest. I left little notes, not signed, reminding them of better days. I placed their wedding photo on the kitchen counter, right where they couldn't ignore it. I did it all without a single request for thanks, because this wasn't about being appreciated. This was about survival. Their survival. And my son's. Even if I had to be the villain in her story. Even if I remained the useless one, I would save them. Because that's what mothers do. We carry the weight. Even when no one sees us struggling under it. We give everything. And ask for nothing. They say, when everyone else leaves. And one day, they will realize how close they came to losing everything. And how someone they dismissed held it all together. It was late evening. The kind of quiet that doesn't feel peaceful. Just heavy. She was in the living room scrolling on her phone, pretending not to notice how broken the house felt. I sat across from her. No raised voice. No anger. Just presence. She glanced up, irritated. Is there something you need? I almost laughed. I hadn't needed anything in decades. But I said, yes. I need you to hear me. She rolled her eyes, but something in my tone stopped her. I didn't accuse. I didn't cry. I didn't plead. I just spoke truth. You called me useless. She stiffened, like a child caught misbehaving. I continued. And I didn't argue with you. Not because I agreed. But because I knew you were speaking from fear. She blinked, confused. So I went deeper. You're losing him and you don't know how to stop it. You're angry. Not because you hate me, but because you hate how powerless you feel. Her jaw trembled. Not with rage. With recognition. Then I leaned in, voice steady. I'm not your enemy. And I'm not here to replace you. Silence. Then. But I will not disappear just because I make you uncomfortable. I raised that boy. I kept him alive when the world tried to take him. And I'll keep him alive now, even if I have to do it through you. Her eyes filled, but she didn't look away. For the first time, she was listening, really listening. And I finished with this. You don't have to like me. You don't have to thank me. But if you love him, truly love him, then let me help you save what's left. Not a threat. Not a demand. And she felt it. She didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't blink. Just sat there. As if the room had suddenly gone silent enough to hear her own heartbeat. So I spoke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just honestly. There's something you don't know about him. Her voice cracked as she asked. What? I looked right into her. Not with judgment, but with the kind of sorrow only a mother can hold. When he was 12, he tried to leave this world. Her face went pale. I continued. He stopped believing he mattered. He stopped believing anyone cared. He walked out into the rain, ready to disappear. She covered her mouth. Her eyes filled quickly, too quickly to fake. And I found him, I said. Cold, quiet, already gone on the inside. He whispered. I had no idea. No, I said. You didn't. Because I never told him to use that pain as a weapon. I wanted him to grow, to love, to build a life without that shadow. Her voice broke. And now, that shadow's back. I nodded. He's slipping again. Not because of you alone. Not because of just one thing. But because life has crushed him slowly. And he doesn't know how to say it out loud. A tear fell down her cheek. Another. Then more. And she whispered the first honest words I'd ever heard from her. I thought I was losing him because I wasn't enough. I shook my head. You're not losing him. You're watching him drown. A beat of silence. And now you know what I know. She swallowed hard. And what do? I leaned forward. Fight for him. Not with him. Another silence. This one different. Something was shifting. Breaking. Opening. For the first time, her walls weren't just cracking. They were falling. She didn't hold back this time. The tears came fast. Hot, shaking, uncontrolled. Not elegant. Not quiet. Not performative. This was the kind of crying people do. When something inside them finally breaks. After holding on too tightly for too long. She covered her face, but I could still hear her. I thought if I just did everything right. If I kept the house clean. If I stayed in shape. If I took care of the baby. If I was perfect. He'd still love me. Her voice broke on that last word. Love. I didn't interrupt. I didn't comfort too quickly. I let her feel it. Because this wasn't pain that needed to be erased. It needed to be understood. Kept going. Words spilling now raw and honest. I didn't know he was hurting. He never told me. He just got colder. Distant. And I thought it was me. I spoke softly. It wasn't. She looked up, eyes swollen, cheeks wet. But I made it worse, didn't I? I didn't sugarcoat it. Yes. She nodded, accepting the truth for the first time. I pushed him away. Because I was afraid he was already leaving. That was it. For the truth beneath all the anger. Fear. She wasn't cruel. She was terrified. Suddenly, I didn't see a daughter-in-law who called me useless. I saw a woman who was losing the person she loved most and didn't know how to stop it. Her voice dropped to a whisper. What do I do now? And I said the truest thing I've ever said. You stay. You try again. You love loudly. And you stop fighting the person who's trying to help you save him. For the first time, she didn't see me as a threat. She saw me as what I had always been. An ally. A mother. Someone who loved him enough to bleed for him. That night something shifted in the air. The silence wasn't cold anymore. It wasn't tense. It felt heavy with possibility. She didn't pace. She didn't slam doors. She didn't hide behind anger or pride. Instead, she walked slowly to the room where he'd been sleeping alone for weeks. She stood at the door for a moment, hand trembling, then knocked gently. He looked up, surprised. She stepped inside. No makeup. No walls. Just vulnerability. I need to talk to you, she said. He nodded, wary. Tired. She sat beside him, not close, not far. Just near enough to be honest. And then she told him everything. Not the accusations. Not the bitterness. The fear. The love. The truth. I miss you. Not the version of you who went to work and came home silent. But you, the man who used to touch me, laugh with me, see me. He stared at her, eyes full, lips tight. She didn't stop. I know I've been cruel. I know I pushed you away. But I was scared. And I didn't know how to say it. He swallowed. Still silent. But he was listening. Really listening. She reached for his hand, slowly, like offering a lifeline. I don't want to lose you. Not to the world. Not to the darkness. And definitely not to silence. And that was when he spoke. For the first time in weeks. Barely above a whisper. I'm so tired. Her hand trembled. I know, she said softly. And you don't have to be alone in that anymore. They sat there, hand in hand, broken but breathing. And something in that moment felt sacred. Not perfect. Not healed. But beginning. Like the first breath after almost drowning. They weren't saved yet. But they were finally facing the same direction. Together. Morning came, early sunlight spilling across the kitchen tiles. But this time it felt different. There was no tension in the air. No storm waiting to break. Just stillness. Soft, hidden, but warm. He walked into the kitchen first. Hair messy, face tired, but he smiled at me. Not a big smile. Not a fixed smile. A small, real one. Like a piece of him was finally alive again. I poured him coffee. He didn't just take it. He touched my hand. Then she walked in. No makeup. No guarded posture. She looked human. And instead of ignoring each other, they exchanged a glance. One that said, we're trying again. She sat beside him. Not across from him. Not apart. Beside. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. He took her hand. And she let him. As I stood at the counter pretending to stir the oatmeal, I felt something rise in my chest. Something thick and unfamiliar. Relief. Real, heavy, overwhelming relief. Not because everything was fixed. Not because the pain had vanished. But because the story wasn't over. They weren't done fighting. And for the first time in months, they were fighting for each other. Not against each other. She looked at me before standing. And said softly, do you want to eat with us? 7 simple words. But I heard every layer. You belong here. You matter. You helped. See, I didn't cry then. But I wanted to. Because even a crumb of kindness feels like a feast after being starved so long. The baby was napping. The house was calm. Not perfect. Not magically healed. But lighter. They were in the backyard. Talking softly, sitting close, sharing the kind of silence that feels safe instead of tense. I stayed inside, folding tiny clothes, wiping counters that didn't need wiping. Mothers never stop caring. Not even when the damage is done. Not even when the credit never comes. That's when I felt a presence behind me. I turned. It was her. No crossed arms. No glare. Just sincerity. She walked toward me, slow, unsure but determined. I need to say something, she began. I didn't answer. I waited. She took a breath, deep, trembling. I was wrong about you. Her voice cracked. You're not outdated. You're not a burden. You're not useless. And then her eyes filled. You saved him. Not with lectures. Not with control. But with love I didn't understand. She shook her head, a tear slipping free. You saved our marriage. Both of us. Even when I pushed you away. Then, something I never expected. She reached out and held my hand. Not out of obligation. But gratitude. Real human gratitude. I'm sorry, she whispered. For what I said. For who I was. I didn't say, I forgive you. I didn't need to. Instead I squeezed her hand back. Gently. And whispered. Just love him. That's all I ever wanted. We stood there in silence, not as rivals, not as strangers, but as 2 women who loved the same man. Each in their own way. And for the first time, I felt seen. Not for what I gave. Not for what I endured. But for what I truly was. A mother who never stopped fighting. Quietly, painfully, fiercely. For the people she loved. Even when called useless. Even when pushed aside. Because that's what love is. It doesn't need applause. It just needs a reason. And he was mine.